Chad Brown and I got connected when he enrolled in my Become a Coach program. I invited him on my channel to share his story of hitting rock bottom and how he and his wife turned their family's finances around, and now he's a financial coach. His story has 3 parts: getting out of debt, becoming a financial coach, and then also his insight on imposter syndrome. And I just watched his video again before recording this intro, and his advice on imposter syndrome is really good. I know his story will inspire you, especially if you have adult children. It is never too late for you. Here's Chad.
Hi everybody, I'm Chad. My big financial pivot point started in 2019 when I realized that I was still paying on my own student loans when our oldest went off to college. We were trying to figure out a way to afford for all of his college expenses and his sister a few years later, since we hadn't saved for either of our kids' college like we should have. It was at that point that I had a moment of enlightenment. I was still paying for my own student loans when my oldest child started college. So I want to make this clear. At the same point in time, I was paying for my kids' college expenses and my own education for more than 20 years earlier. That's right. I had been paying on my student loan for more than 20 years. It was then that we really started examining our finances. We had a heart-to-heart talk and agreed that we had to change things now. And the first thing that we did was sit down and write out a why statement. Why we wanted to do this, why we wanted to change. We had to fully acknowledge that what we had been doing to that point was not working, where we were then, and ultimately where we wanted to be. We physically wrote down that we wanted to be good stewards of the blessings that we had. We wanted to manage our money differently so that 1, we could get out of debt, 2, we could afford for our kids' college expenses and get them through college without taking on student loan debt, 3, we could save for retirement appropriately and not be a burden to others later in life, and 4, so that we could be extremely generous to others. The second thing we did was get organized. We did a detailed analysis of our spending and worked together to establish a written budget to follow. It was through that exercise that we realized that our finances were a mess, completely disorganized. We had no idea where all of our money was going. We weren't really living paycheck to paycheck, but we had very little margin at the end of each month. We had no savings for our kids' college, and we were in debt by about $40,000. We still owed almost $3,000 on my student loan. Yes, I know, after 20 years. We also had 3 car loans, one for $6,000, one for $12,000, and one for about $18,000. We felt embarrassed, and quite frankly, we were scared. We had no direction, no real goals or plan. We didn't know if we would be able to get our kids through college without taking on debt, or when or if we would even be able to retire. I was a PhD scientist with a career in R&D, and my wife was a school teacher. We made way too much money to be in such a condition. In the budget, we found out where every dollar was going. We cut out all subscriptions, we stopped eating out, and we sold whatever we could. Because we had been blessed with a good income and putting all this together, we were able to clear all that debt of $40,000 in about 5 months using the debt snowball method. The third step that we took was to start saving. And the first part of that saving was establishing an emergency fund that we set as 4 months of our monthly expenses. And the second part of that saving step, we started putting aside 15% of our gross income for retirement into 401ks and Roth IRAs. Since we hadn't saved for our kids' college expenses, we sat down with them and explained the situation calmly and clearly. As a family, we made plans to use cash flow along with scholarships the kids had or would get, because we coached them on how to get some, and money that they would earn from working to pay for all their college expenses and avoid them having to take on student loan debt. Because we had eliminated all that consumer debt, there was extra margin each month to do so, along with saving for retirement. The final step in this personal finance transformation was setting a plan to pay off our mortgage early, and that's where we are now. With extra margin from having no debt, budgeting carefully each month, and doing a couple of side hustles, we plan to pay off our mortgage within 5 years. We're about 2 years into that plan, and we're on course to pay off our mortgage and be completely debt-free in about the next 3 to 4 years. When the mortgage is paid, we plan to increase our generosity to local charities and hopefully establish some scholarships for students attending our alma mater. We can now confidently say that we feel secure in our finances and should be able to retire by age 61, or when we choose, with dignity and peace, as net worth millionaires. It was on reflection of this financial journey over the past year that I decided I wanted to become a financial coach and help others who may be in similar circumstances as my wife and I were. I've always had a passion for teaching and organization, and during this process I learned that I really like personal finance. And financial coaching is a good combination of all of those things, allowing me to do what I really enjoy, which is to help others achieve peace and security in their own finances and not do the same dumb that we did. That's why I've launched my financial coaching business, Bedrock Financial Coaching, LLC. I work with parents who want to get out of debt, plan for their kids' college, and save for retirement so they can build a stable and secure future for their family. I help parents move from a pit of stress and uncertainty in their finances to a place of peace where they are in confident control of their finances. If this is you or someone you know, I would love to work with you. Check out my website at bedrockfinancialcoaching.com to learn more about my 7 steps to a financial fitness transformation, a program we customize together to fit your personal financial situation and goals, getting you on a path to generational wealth. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Financial Coach Chad. Now, a few comments from my experiences so far in becoming a financial coach. At first glance, becoming a financial coach can seem a little intimidating. There are lots of things to consider, like how to start a business, how to manage all the online tools and social media stuff. And there are questions that seem so difficult, like how do I get clients? How much do I charge for my services? And of course, there's the universal hurdle of imposter syndrome. What if I'm not good enough or people don't take me seriously? Good news is there's lots of resources to help. My colleague, financial coach Jess, I fondly call her Miss Jess, has an amazing training, her Become a Coach program. In it, she covers every aspect of becoming a financial coach, including developing your own program, online resources on how to build websites and manage social media content, how to generate clients, how much to charge as a financial coach, how to build leads, and so much more. It's been a big help to me in starting my own financial coaching business. If you're thinking about becoming a financial coach and need a little guidance, I highly recommend you consider Financial Coach Jess's Become a Coach program. Now, a word about imposter syndrome. I would say that the majority, if not all, of financial coaches have wrestled with imposter syndrome. I know that I have. I've wondered, do I really know what I need to guide clients correctly? Or will they even listen to me or take me seriously? A whole lot of what-ifs have popped into my mind. Although I had some doubt as I started this journey and I struggled a little with confidence, I found that as I started truly listening to people, there was no need to feel intimidated at all. In reality, I found that there are many people who know very little about managing personal finances, and deep down they really would like to do better, but they just don't know how. They're like any of the rest of us, simply lacking the skills because they weren't taught them about how to manage money wisely and use it as a tool in navigating life. They aren't defensive or guarded about discussing their personal finances. In fact, they welcome input and are open to discussion if it's with someone they feel they can trust. Also, they're more than happy to pay for financial coaching if they believe the coach gets where they're coming from, will work with them, and bring value to their life by getting them from where they are now to where they want to be. Here's some encouragement if that's you. If you're thinking about becoming a financial coach but feel a little scared, have a touch of imposter syndrome, don't. And I know that it's easy for me to say that, but I promise it's not as difficult as it may seem initially. If you have a true desire to help others become better about themselves and managing their finances, can commit to a little hard work and dedication, and are willing to continually learn and improve yourself, then you can do it. You can be a financial coach. So what are you waiting for? Thanks for your time, everybody. Until next time, live like you mean it.
Huge thank you to Chad for being vulnerable and putting yourself out there. I know it's not easy to sit in front of a camera and press record. You can find Chad at the links below in the description, as well as links for my Become a Coach program.